if I'd been halfway awake during this game, I would have realized the correct move is to play knight c3, e6, and then I can play e4, or I can play knight e2 right away. Somebody named Nakamura has played this game, has played this line rather, I should say, with white several times. He's played e4 when he's been awake and not halfway asleep. Unfortunately, when I played this game, I was still slightly asleep. I wasn't completely ready, so I castled. E6, knight c3 takes, and now on h goes bishop g4, and this line is still playable for white, but you have to play h3 here, and after takes knight bd7. Again, it's a line with a lot of theory. Black can put the knight in e5, play a6 b5, and so forth. And hello everybody, how are you doing on this fine Monday evening? I guess it's Monday, right? It's Monday here here in the US. I forgot for a second. I was about to say it's a very nice Friday evening, so it feels like every day feels like Friday, like we're headed to the weekend. Big shout out to everybody. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, today is April 20th. Ha ha ha, very funny, but yeah, it's Monday here in the United States. So big shout out to everybody. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, 420. Ha ha ha, very funny. Anyway, today we're going to be starting out by looking at games that I played today from the Magnus Invitational tournament. So we're going to start with my games. There obviously was another match between Magnus and Ali Reza. We'll be looking at those games as well, since I didn't really have a chance to look at them live. So we're going to be taking a look at all the games. My games were pretty dry. I did win the match 2.5, 1.5. So it certainly was a good result. I didn't really feel like I played very good chess, but it works. Thank you to Vanjari for the tier 2 sub. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll start with game 1 against Anish. I played this game at 10 a.m. I think I woke up maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours before. It was a little bit groggy, not really in it at the start. So Anish surprised me with g6. I was expecting him to play e6 and be solid. Instead, he chose to play the Grunfeld, so I played this anti-Grunfeld line with e3 here instead of knight c3. Castles. If black goes d5, of course you can take and play e4. There's a lot of theory in this that's been known. Why can you not use headphones during the match? I think it's just anti-cheating. Of course, it's a little bit silly because some of us don't even have output. So, for example, without headphones, I have no output because I have no speakers. So it's a little bit weird, but I understand. It's completely reasonable. Thank you to Vanjari for gifting 2 subs to the community, to Naname, or No Name Potato, and Zephy35. Thank you so much. So Anish castled. So here I played bishop to e2. Anish played c5 again. d5 is a move, and then went take, knight d5, e4. A bunch of theory there, so I'm not going to get into it right now. Anyway, big shout out to everybody. Thanks for all the subs. We have 3,058 subs at the moment. So really nice. Thank you for all the support. Chat, everyone who loves the channel, follows it, thank you so much. I see what happened with oil. I can talk about finance later. Right now we're going to be talking about chess. After I analyze the games and I start playing playing blitz or doing puzzle rush or other stuff, then we can start just discussing more broader topics. But right now I'm just going to focus on analyzing the game. So c5, new microphone. I think my microphone is pretty good. My webcam is the biggest issue, and the computer as well is a bigger issue, so I'm going to be scrapping both of those. So okay, so c5, d5, d6, castles, e6. It's worth noting, if I had been halfway awake during this game, I would have realized the correct move is to play knight c3, e6, and then I can play e4, or I can play knight e2 right away. Somebody named Nakamura has played this game, has played this line rather, I should say, with white several times. He's played e4 when he's been awake and not halfway asleep. Unfortunately, when I played this game, I was still slightly asleep. I wasn't completely ready, so I castled. E6, knight c3 takes, and now on h goes bishop g4, and this line is still playable for white, but you have to play h3 here, and after takes knight bd7. Again, it's a line with a lot of theory. Black can put the knight in e5, play a6 b5, and so forth. Again, a lot of theory, lot of games have been played, but of course I was like I said, I was fairly groggy and halfway asleep, so I played knight d2, which is just a terrible move. Black takes, and already after knight a6, black is clearly better here. I seem to be in control. Yeah, I mean, like, it's, yeah, but no chat. I've had issues with getting the equipment from Chess24, but everybody has webcam. So like for the first match, I had the camcorder. Unfortunately, there's no it's a rechargeable battery, but I don't have a way to recharge a battery, so it died early. And then of course, considering how comical it's been, they ordered another camcorder or something for recording, and the device was with UPS, and they rang my doorbell in the middle of the match today, so I couldn't actually go and get it, so they weren't able to deliver the package. So hopefully I'll get that tomorrow, and then there will be more cameras and all that stuff. But it's certainly been an interesting experience. But everybody will be having multiple cameras, so yeah. There's a camcorder, right? They ring my doorbell. I'm like, okay, they're just ringing it because they're dropping it off. And then like I realized after match, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go pick up the package. I go outside. It's like, oops, there's no package. There's just a stupid sticker on my door that says they were unable to deliver it. So it's been a bit of a comedy of errors so far in terms of that end of it. But otherwise, it's all been good. So okay, so here I played Rook D1. Anish played Rook E8. Again, very hard for white to play because I want to play E4, Knight C4, F3. I can't really do that easily because even if I go Knight C4, then black can play Knight to C7. He has B5. And he's got A6, I think. Or actually, wait, no. What was I worried about? No, I think I was worried about Queen to D7 here is what concerned me with the idea of playing B5 at some point. I don't know. Maybe this is still good for white after F3. But it felt a little bit iffy somehow. This is where Anish went wrong. Knight C7. Sorry, Knight C7 was the key move, not Rook E8. Because now if I go Knight C4... black goes B5, Knight F5, B4, and he's going to win material here because the knight is overloaded on C3. So I can't go Knight C4. I need to protect the pawn, so I probably have to play Knight B3. Thank you to Kufei Soul for the gifted sub to Jack in Disguise. Thank you so much. I have to go Knight B3, but now after like A6, A4, maybe just B5. Black is just clearly better here. Someone says coffee. It's spelled Coffeesoul. So that would be Kufei, not coffee. Coffee has two E's. There's only one E chat, so I'm not blind. I know how to read English. Anyway, this would have been clearly better for Anish. So yeah, so Knight C7 was a very good move. Anish played Rook E8, and actually, yeah, I guess after Knight C4, it's already completely back to being normal. Kofefe, yeah, funny. Okay, so Anish played Knight E4. I traded. Now after A4, I was very happy because even if black gets a square on B4 for the knight, I start to build the center. I've got a knight on C4 that's really good. It's going to take black a lot of time to try and remove it with some A6, B5. So at this point, I was already very happy because I saw this Knight C7. I had a feeling something was wrong, but after Anish missed it, I got this A4. I already was really happy. Now I found a very nice move. Bishop to D2. The point being that black plays knight takes D5. I go queen D3, hitting the knight, hitting the rook. If knight F6, I think I just go. Wait, no, did I play bishop? Did I really do this? What? Wait a second. Oh no, sorry, knight D5. I have bishop A5. That's right, wrong move. Thank you to PhotoChess for the raid with 170 viewers. Thank you so much to PhotoChess. Thank you to Here Hitham for the tier 1. Thank you so much. Actually, yeah, this is bishop A5. Because now black goes knight B6. You just play knight takes D6, and there are a ton of discoveries coming up. If black goes queen G5, just knight D6. If black goes knight F4, you just go queen F3, and everything is just hanging, and it's winning. I did say thank you to PhotoChess for the raid. I did say that. Yeah, thanks to PhotoChess for the raid with 170. I said it before, I'll say it again. Thank you to Mark2D2 for the sub with Prime. Thank you so much. So knight D5 doesn't work here. So here he played queen D7. So now I played queen to D3. Okay, so now I played queen to D3. Anish played F5. Okay, I'm confused. Sorry, chat. Anyway, no thank what? No thank you. I'm confused. Okay, whatever. I'm confused, chat. So evidently, I'm confused. Oh, thank you for all the Oh, there was no comma. That's why. Oh, okay. Oh, there was no comma. That's why. Okay, there was no comma. Okay, there's no comma. That's why. Okay, chat. Now it makes sense. Okay, I get it. Okay, chat. All right. No, yeah, there's no comma, so that's why. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now I understand. Her name is PhotoChess, not punctuation, chat. Okay, chat. Let's all relax. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for the raid once again to PhotoChess. Okay, so queen d7 was played. I played queen to d3. Anish played f5. Already, I think this, again, everything's gone wrong for Anish. His knight is really, really nice. It puts a lot of pressure on d6. I've got a lot of space here. Thank you to Sly Nice Guy for the 3 months. Cool match day. Good job, Hikaru. Thank you so much. So we played f5. I think already it's very bad for black. Even rook e7. There's so many pleasant things. I can just do what I did in the game. I can go bishop c3. It's just this knight on c4 is never going to be able to be removed. But he played f5. So I played bishop c3. Anish played rook d8. I mean, maybe he should have taken, but I still think, again, long term in a rapid game, this is very nice. And actually, one point I'm going to make out is Anish missed a couple of things later in the game. And I think Anish being a very, like, pragmatic player with a very, what's the right word? Sort of a very, not rigid, but a very sort of like set understanding of the game, was really unwilling in this game to do certain things. And I think it's because he doesn't play the Benoni much. But what Anish should have done in this game was he should have just taken and gone knight a6, knight b4 back and just wasted a tempo, but gotten the outpost. And this isn't the only spot where he should have done it. But because it's like he sort of has put the knight at c7, it's like, I can't do it. Like, fundamentally, it's just wrong to waste the tempo because he already put the knight back. So bringing the knight back and losing tempi, I mean, you just can't do that. And I think this actually hurt Anish very much in this game because he didn't sort of have that ability in his mind. So he played rook d8. I played f3, rook e8. Now I went bishop e1. Keeping the bishops on the board, try to put pressure on d6 at some point. Also maybe bishop h4 as well. Thank you to Kookie for the tier 1. Thank you so much. Come on, Chad, let's be nice to Anish. Anish is a great player. He hasn't had a good start to the tournament, but yeah. Grishuk said he thinks that Giri has some mental blocks when he's playing top GMs. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. So he went queen e7, bishop g3. Just I played this rook c1. Again, my idea is always to play b4 at some point. Now, Anish really has to put the knight on b4, but instead he goes b6. Bishop e1, and now for the last time, Anish still could have played knight a6 to stop me from playing b4. Played bishop g5, and now again, the absolute last time, as you'll see the computer. Thank you to Master Tattoo for the tier 1. Thank you so much. For the last time, Anish could have played knight a6 and stopped. He's obviously still worse, but once I get in b4, the whole position becomes really, really unpleasant. So he played bishop f6, now b4, and I think already it's very hard. Maybe still he has knight a6 here, and he can try to hang on. But I think after queen, I think I was going to go queen b3 here. Computer thinks black is fine. Fair enough. Maybe it's not so easy. Maybe this is actually still fine. Anyway, Anish didn't do it. He played queen d7. And now after b5, I think the game is technically lost for black here, because the knight is passive. I've got a bind. I can play a5 to create... Whoa, thank you to Turnip Swagger for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much to Turnip Swagger. So I can play a5 to create space and get a square, or create a big weakness. The knight can never be removed for c4. So now it's just a matter of when I get an a5 and when I get an e4 here. Thank you to Fish Fried AK for the sub with Prime. Thank you so much. So basically, at this point, it's just about coming up with the right plan, right idea, and then eventually crashing through. So Anish played queen f7. I played bishop e1. Queen e7. I mean, I just kept waiting. I played rook b1. Again, a very like slow idea. I'm lining up a5 because then the pawn on b5 is protected. But also, I mean, the rook on c1 doesn't do anything. I'm never going to be able to do anything on the c file, so it makes much more sense here to just put it on a better square. I can maybe still play bishop g3, but it's just a matter of, take a deep breath, have that shot of vodka and relax and wait for the right moment to take a break. Or not take a break, but to blast through, I should say. So here Anish played f4, which was just a very bad move by Anish. I think this was just desperation at this point. Because he's like, oh man, what am I doing? I've just got such a bad position. I mean, I can't really attack. My knight is terrible. He's going to play a5. This knight's a god. And so he played f4. I played e4 here. Of course, I did not take the pawn. If I take the pawn, then he gets bishop d4, king h1, and after knight takes d5, black is actually much better because now he's going to create a big center with d5. He's got the open e file. f4 is also weak, so it's pretty bad for white. So I played e4 here. Anish threw in the check. As the saying goes, 3 checks to win, but he didn't even get 3 checks. So king h1, rook b8. Now I played bishop c3, and the huge difference here between the previous lines is that after takes, you'll notice there's just no break. I have this break. I have this break. His knight is terrible. Just like no access points anywhere to get into the game. And it's just a matter of when I'm going to crash it with e5 or a5, because my knight is just amazingly good, and his knight on c7 is absolutely terrible. So he played queen f8, and now here I played a5, which I think is good. He takes. Oh, I actually played this correctly? Huh. I thought actually during the game that I had misplayed this after a couple of moves. So I thought queen a5, rook b7, e5. I saw this during the game. I'm like d6, knight e6, d7, rook d8 to stop the queen, and then queen a6 just wins the game. This is what I saw. And then I realized that he actually has this very crafty knight a8 move, and it looks really, really bad for black. But it's hard because he's getting the knight to a good square where it's protected. His rooks are pretty active, and d6 is also weak. Whoa, thank you to Caligula 443 for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you so much to Caligula. Thank you to Vanjari as well for the 200 bits. Thank you so much. So after knight 8, I was actually a little bit annoyed because knight e5, knight b6. Of course, he has to go knight b6, rook e5. I just go d7. I'm controlling all the key squares here, so I'm completely winning. So he goes knight b6, d7, rook d8. And I mean, it's probably winning, but I have to be careful because knight d7 is a threat. If he gets queen f6, it's not like the knight has a safe outpost here, so it's a little bit tricky. Of course, the computer says white is just winning after playing. Rook d2 is the best move. Oh my gosh, I'm actually a great chess player. Wow, I only played rook d2 because my original idea here when I is it lagging or it's my internet? I think it's on your end. Yeah, it's on your end that you're lagging. Yeah, I'm not dropping any frames, so it's on your end. But the point was I wanted to play queen a2, and I actually thought, well, queen a2, king g7, knight g4. Oh, this isn't winning? What? Oh, maybe this isn't winning. This was my idea, at least, to go into this. But this was my idea. You guys can't see the you guys can't see the sub count. Well, I mean, I'll just change the scene very briefly for you guys. There's the sub count, 3,064. So there's the sub count. Thank you to Kazazip for the 2 months. So anyway, so yeah, so there you guys go. So rook d2 is what I played, and the only reason I played rook d2 is because I realized after queen a2, black can play c4, knight c4, queen f7, and there's this very, very nasty pin. And rook d2 is multi-purpose as well, because now if black takes, I go rook d1. So it's sort of a multi-purpose move, protect everything and create a winning position. Thank you to Like 45 Ninjas for the 100 bits. Thank you so much. So now Anish played queen f5. I played rook e1. And now Anish makes the final blunder, king g7. Maybe this is already just, I guess it's just winning. It's +3. During the game, I was not so convinced of it. But I guess it's just winning. Actually, he should have played queen g7, I thought. And then rook e1, c4. And I guess I can just do anything. Even queen a2 is winning here. Yeah, probably queen a2 is safest and it's winning. But again, during the game, I was not so sure how clearly winning it was. But Anish played queen f5. I played rook e1. Again, remove the rook from b1 where it's being attacked. And also it protects the knight on e5. Anish played king g7. Really the last blunder in the game. Thank you to Kevin C. Wong for the gifted sub to Impact Blue 44. Thank you so much to Kevin C. Wong. So here I played queen to c3. And Anish played queen d7, which I don't know if that was a slip or what it was. Because as soon as he played it, I saw it on the webcam. I saw him kind of just like go, like he threw his hands in the air like he was confused. So he might have just actually touched d7 when he was trying to resign or something. And it just made him queen takes d7, which of course, after knight takes d7, I mean, it's a Botez gambit and it's the end of the game. But black is still losing anyway, because if he goes queen f6, I go queen takes c5, knight takes d7, and I just play queen to c6, hitting the rook, hitting the queen. The rook is pinned on d8. If you take, I take with the pawn, and then you're losing. If you take on e5, I just take with check, and then I'm going to take, and the whole house is just kind of collapsing for black here. Thank you to Sunkiss Orange for the sub with Prime. Thank you so much. Someone said something about it says it must be time to prepare, play, and stream daily. Well, I mean, I'm a professional streamer, so I'm used to streaming every day at this point. I've been doing it for quite a while now. I mean, I've obviously been streaming for a long time, but I've been streaming every day for more or less the last month or month and a half. So anyway, Anish, just made this slip queen d7, knight takes d7, and he resigned. So with that first win, that put me on +1. I won the first game best of 4, so I was very happy with the first game. So let's move on to the second game. Thank you to Kevin C. Wong for gifting a sub to Bunkinator. Thank you so much. Road to Chess Master says, how does it feel as a professional streamer to play in a chess tournament? I mean, it's very weird actually, because I don't think I've ever gone this long without playing over the board. The last time I played an over the board tournament was the World Blitz in Rapid in December. So it's been a very long time, and it is quite strange. But this tournament has kind of made me feel good again. Like I'm enjoying playing chess. It's really nice. Like even if it's online, it still feels nice to be playing against other top guys. It really just feels very nice. So, okay, we're going to look at game 2. I'm going to flip the board, of course, so it's black. So I played knight f6, knight f3, d5, and I castled. Whoops, I castled. Sorry, knight c3, bishop e7. Played the queen's game, declined again. Bishop f4, castles, e3, knight d7. Thank you to Kevin C1 for gifting a sub to Lali, quadruple 0. Thank you for the 8 gifted subs on the channel. Thank you to Photo Chess for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much to the one and only Photo Chess. So thank you to everybody. Really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Glad you guys are enjoying the stream, enjoying the tournament so far. So I played the same line I played against Magnus. Here on each played bishop e2. And again, one thing I'm going to add is I have been doing preparation, but my approach, since I haven't played, but since I haven't really studied much in the last couple of weeks, once I knew the US Championship was getting canceled, it's sort of I'm trying to play myself back into the event, or not into the event, but back into form, I would say, because I spent a lot of time actually preparing for the US Championship. But then about 3 weeks ago, it's like, oh, it's canceled. And then you hear the Grand Chess Tour is canceled. It's like, oh, okay, well, there's just no chess for there's just gonna be no chess forever. Thank you to Dr. Chess Gremlin for the 12 gifted subs. Thank you so much to Dr. Chess Gremlin. Thank you so much to the one and only Dr. Chess Gremlin, one of the mods here on the channel. Big shout out to him. Thank you so much. So here I played DC4. But the point I was making is just I did a lot of prep before the US Championship, and then 3 weeks before, the carpet gets yanked out from under my feet. There's no US Championship. Fix the sub count layout. Yeah, I'll work on that. I'll work on that later. Of course, I'm not going to be on the screen forever, so I'll work on it. Let me see. Let's see if we can fix it during the stream. I'll see if I can fix it. But very quickly, there you guys go. There's the sub count, 3,081 since I just changed the scene. So yeah. All right. So yeah. So I took on c4 castles. I played c5. Wait, Anish took, and now castles, c5. Yeah, Anish took, and here I played knight c5. This is all well-known theory. a6, knight e5. Now here I don't remember if knight cd7 or knight fd7 is the correct move. I played knight cd7. Now Anish played bishop e2. And again, I think this is already completely fine for black, but it's tricky, and I decided to play something that was not exactly great. Frenzy Frost, thank you so much for tuning in. Coming from Lex Veldhouse's channel. Actually, I was going to ask, how did Lex do in day 2? Did he take it down? I assume he didn't, since I didn't hear anything. But how did Lex do in day 2? So I played bishop b4 here. Again, he busted around 200. Oh, that's kind of sucky. Oh, he lost with 6-6 versus jacks. Okay. 200-ish. Okay, it was still a decent payday, probably. What do you get, $2 grand, maybe? $2 grand? Something like that, I'm guessing. Anyway, yeah, so I played bishop b4 here. Basically, try to remove the knight. I didn't want to play a long endgame where I'm suffering. I think this line with bishop c6 is obviously playable. But white is slightly better. It's very tricky to play, and even though objectively black can hold a draw in a rapid game or a blitz game, you don't really want this sort of a position because it's much easier for white to play, which means you're going to get way down on the clock, and you're already also slightly worse, and you're going to have to defend perfectly. So it's just not a position you really want. So I decided to get creative. I played bishop b4. Anish played bishop f3, and now I decided to be very practical because at this point I already used about 6 minutes. And Anish had used no time. He's welcoming a collaboration. Yeah, I've spoken to Lex a little bit in Discord. We might do something. Obviously, with this event, this Magnus Carlsen Invitational Tournament with a top prize of $70,000, I need to focus on this, and it is running for the next 2 weeks. So I won't be able to do anything for the next week and a half, 2 weeks. But after that, certainly, we'll probably do something. So after bishop f3 here, I decided I'm down 5 minutes on the clock. Let's just be like Magnus. Let's just try to go for something where technically it should be a draw if I play correctly. And it's going to be very hard for white to prove it because when I take and play knight d5, when we reach this position, yes, I'm down a pawn, but there are a lot of technical issues for for white here. First of all, we have the opposite color bishops. So opposite color bishops almost always make it easier to draw the game. And then secondly, white's extra pawn is a separated pawn on c3. So he's got these pawn islands on a2 and c3. So here Anish plays rook d1. I go queen c8. And Anish plays e4. I was wondering if queen a5 is a good move. I don't know. Computer says 0.9, it looks like, with queen a5. But he played e4, queen c4. And now here Anish played queen d4, rook c8. Again, trying to put pressure on the pawn. I welcome all trades here because the point is white has 4v3. I have 3 pawns here. White has 4 pawns on the king side. But on the queen side, these pawns are weak on a2 and c3. So the structure on the queen side is very stable for me as well. Thank you to Raging Pro for the 500 bits. So here Anish played rook d3. And now I played f5, which I think is a very good move. Anish plays e takes f5. And here actually I was very mad at myself, not on this move, but only a couple of moves later, because as I realized after I had moved, I should have just taken on d4 and played like this. And it's maybe not a dead draw, but after bishop d2 rook d8, this is very, very close to being a dead draw, just because of the opposite color bishops. And I'm going to control the open file, like bishop e3 takes rook e8, and it's really, really hard for white to win this. I don't think white can even win. Playing for a draw is such uninspiring pragmatism. Not trying to be negative, just my opinion. Well, first of all, the only goal in this tournament is to finish top 4. If you don't finish top 4, you don't qualify. So the goal is to win the match, first and foremost. This is not blitz. In blitz, it's completely different. But I had a bad position. I was down on the clock, and so I decided to be practical and try to do something where I thought Anish would have to use a lot of time to try and prove that he could win. And he was unable to, so it was absolutely the right decision. So I played rook f5, bishop e5, we trade. And I played rook to e8. The point here is that basically the d file is closed. The bishop cuts the d file, so I can never use this with my rooks. The only open file here that can be used by either player is the e file. So I played rook to e8, rook e3. I played bishop to d7 here. Anish trades. Rook e1, bishop c6. Again, look at this queen side. It's very stable. Like, we've got this queen side, but everything is stable here. Like, white can never attack the bishop, and the bishop supports the pawns, and the pawns support each other. So Anish played f3. Here I played king f7, which is slightly wrong. I missed it. Anish played bishop e5, cutting the rook, so I can't swing it over and try to go to a2 or b2. But I just accepted my error, went king g8. What I should have done here is I should have just played rook f8. And after king f2, rook e8, again, very, very hard for white to win this. So I played king f7, bishop e5, went back, because again, I need to activate the rook. Try to use it on the d file or the e file. And it's important because when white cuts the d file, the bishop supports the e8 square, so I can contest the white rook on the e file. So king f2, I played rook f7, bishop d4, rook f5. Trying to go back. Actually, rook f5 is probably a bad move because Anish always has bishop e5 here, and he could have played h4 and built up something. Not that it makes a difference, but it would have been a better try, whereas he played rook e7. And now I don't make the mistake of trying to go here or something. I go back, contest the e file, because white can never use the d file because the bishop covers the key squares on the d file. So Anish played rook g5. I played g6. For those of you in chat, oh wait, sorry, before I get to that, someone in chat says, Fabi yesterday said that it's a bit weird to be done with your match day at lunchtime already with the whole day to spare. Do you feel the same? Do you think the different time zones, like Ding playing late in the evening, makes a difference? It's weird being done by lunchtime. That sounds like a great day. I mean, Fabiano needs to spend more time in the British Empire. I mean, that sounds perfect. Play some chess in the morning, you know, have your lunch, and then your high tea in the afternoon, and then you can just kick back and watch some cricket in the evening. I mean, what's wrong with Fabiano? He needs to get some hobbies. So yeah. So anyway, so I played g6 here. And already I think this is very close to a draw. Yeah, or you could, or chat. You know what? Be like all those Catalonians in Barcelona, and like, you know, it's like, okay, we're done playing our chess. Let's go eat a massive lunch. Let's take our siesta, and then at 9 p.m. let's go out and party all night long. I mean, let's go to Las Ramblas and go party till we drop. Barcelona, yeah, of course. So anyway, so yeah, rook g5 is a mistake. Yeah, I mean, he should have played h4, rook e8, rook g5. But I still think after g6, h5, king f7, white's up a pawn again. But these opposite color bishops and the lack of activity for the rook combined with the fact that I'm going to go bishop b5 and rook e2, it's still probably better for white. But it's, again, the thing with going into this endgame is that it forced Anish to have to use time to try and prove that he's winning. Whereas for me with black, I just have to think about a handful of ideas and moves. I don't have to think about a lot of different things. So yeah. So he played rook g5 after g6, king g3, rook f5. I mean, I thought a bit, but I realized that after takes, this is just an easy draw because basically, again, the problem is let's look at the position. He's got a 3v2. He can't touch the pawn, so because of course opposite color bishops, and they're on light. All my pawns are on light squares. And then secondly, if he tries to come in, cut in this way, I just go like this, and the bishop just supports the pawn. So I just wait forever with my king on the light squares, and he can never touch the queenside pawns. There are no weaknesses, so it's very safe. So that's if he tries to cut in this way, he can't do anything. He played king g5. Now I went king f7. I suspect even here without king f7 is a draw, but king f7 is important because if white gets to king to f6 like here, actually, I guess this is still a draw with correct play because I can still just sit back and chill with bishop c8, d7. But again, it's not really what you want, so it's more important to go king f7 to cut this square off. And if white goes king h6, I just sit back here and wait. Now I just wait with the bishop. When he comes back, I just sit here. I wait to see where the king's going, and I just wait with my bishop. So Anish played c4. I just start waiting. We just start chilling. I start chilling. And I just start chilling. And I just keep chilling. And now after h2, I went bishop b5. Point being that after, if white takes, there's always bishop f1. I don't really have to do this. I mean, even here I can just keep chilling on c8 and d7, and it's a draw. But bishop b5 felt like the more precise way, because now I can also put the bishop on d3. So if white plays h4, I just go bishop d3, and I start chilling. And I chill. If he goes here, I go here to cut the square. If he goes here, I go here, and we just chill. And then I just keep chilling on this diagonal forever. So Anish decided to take the pawn instead, and I went bishop f1, g4, I took the pawn, went king g5, bishop f1. Now he tries to use the pawns, but again, one thing in this endgame is here, you look at the pawns. These pawns are toast. Neither side can do anything. The pawns are fixed. We're not pushing. So the only way for white to win would be to create a passed pawn here. So it's very important when you have these opposite colored bishop endings to attack the pawns from behind. Like, white wants to go king h6, but you just attack this pawn from behind, and white can never support the pawn because if the king moves, you lose it. You've already pushed the f pawn, so there's no way to support the pawn on g4. So it's very important to remember, if you reach opposite colored bishop endings, to use the bishop to attack the opponent's pawns from behind, especially if you're down material. So he plays f5. I just start chilling. Again, this whole game is about just chilling on the right diagonal, so we just keep chilling. I just keep chilling. We keep chilling. We keep chilling. Now he goes g5, of course, because now if he goes king e5, I just take the pawn, and there's nothing else to do, so finally he pushes. And now I go bishop d3. Again, keep pressure on this pawn now. Now I start chilling on this diagonal, just basically in perpetuity. Actually, I guess forever. Perpetuity usually is finance, so I just keep chilling on this diagonal forever. This is a draw, chat. I know the computer says plus 1.3, but it's just a draw because I just wait forever. I just keep chilling. We keep chilling. We keep chilling. We keep chilling. We keep chilling. And now finally Anish plays f6, puts the pawn on a dark square, but now there's a complete blockade, so there's nothing that either side can do. Again, white can't do anything because if you push the pawn, I just take. If you move the king, you hang the pawn. If you move the bishop, I just chill on this diagonal forever. So he plays f6, and now I go bishop d3. One last idea. The only thing white can try to do is put the king in, because now he can't push the pawn. I've got the whole diagonal blockaded. Is to try and come this way, but after bishop d3, the idea to put the bishop on c6, it's just a draw. So Anish took the draw. If he goes king d6, let the computer prove it. Okay, chat, let the computer prove it. I would bet anybody in this position. I bet you $5 million that no computer could beat me from this position. So anybody wants that bet, I'm willing to take that bet. If anybody has $5 million and they want to make a bet on this position, I'll make that bet. Alpha Zero cannot beat me from this position. Anyway, Yeah, no computer could beat me from this position. This is a complete draw. Yeah, a computer could not win this position. The game would still go on for another 100 moves, but no computer would win this position. But yeah. So anyway, chat, this is a complete draw. For those of you who are wondering, it's just a dead draw. It's a dead draw. So this whole thing is just a complete draw. There are positions like this in chess where you reach positions. There are positions like this where one side can have more material than the other side, and it's just a draw. Because the point at king d6, I go here, and then I plop the bishop on c6, and now I just chill forever. There are multiple ways to chill. I can chill by going here, 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 here. I can also chill by going here, here, here. So it's just a dead draw. But that's actually, chat, one thing I would add very briefly about that's an issue is that's what makes chess very hard to follow sometimes, because if you're not a chess player and you see this position, you see the evaluation with the computer, like now it's coming down as 0.96, but when the computer says +1, that means you're up 1 pawn. So you think about the evaluations, like that should be winning. One side has more material, and that's one thing that makes chess very hard to follow if you don't actually play chess, because you're going to follow the evaluation and it's like, well, one side's up material, but in fact it's not actually winning. And there are worse examples too, where it's much better, where it's like much better. It's like +4 or +5, which is the equivalent of having like an extra rook or something, and you can't win. But yes, this is a draw, of course, and that's why commentators are important. Yeah, no, of course they're important. But anyway, that was the second game, so very important draw, because this game is not good, but I was very proud of myself that when I was down 5 minutes and kind of getting into a bit of a messy position, that I made a very practical decision to just give up a pawn and play this endgame with the opposite color bishops. Thank you to John Bartholomew for the raid with 276 people. Thank you so much to John Bartholomew, the one and only. John, of course, very well known for I don't think he puts the course together, but he runs Chessable. They've got a lot of good content there, a lot of ebooks. So definitely check out that site when you have time. So anyway, so I made this draw. I was very happy with the good decision, because I still felt a little bit groggy at this point, not completely there. And so to do this, I was very happy, because it felt like, I'm a little bit groggy. I'm not completely there, but to make but to just make the right decision when I'm down 5 minutes and make it very hard for Anish to prove it. I was really happy about that. So let's go to the next game. This was actually not an exciting game at all. I was white. So I played d4 again. Anish played d5, c4, c6. And now wherever that dude is from earlier who was like, oh, don't play for draws. Don't be pragmatic. It's so uninspiring. He would hate me for this game, because basically Anish played the Slav, and I decided, you know what? I'm up a game in the match. It's important to keep the flow going. I don't want something super sharp. If this was the first game of the match, I would have played something very sharp. But because this was the third game of the match, it's like, you know what, Anish? If you aren't going to take chances to try and win the game with black, then you know what? I'm just going to kill one more game and just basically reduce the risk. Because also by making a draw in this game, what I do is what I do is by making a draw is I guarantee myself of 1 point in the match as well, because even though I lose the last game, we're going to play an Armageddon game where if I lose, I get 1 point. If I win, I get 2 points. Dudes, I'll talk about oil later, because I did take an oil position late in the day today. So I will talk about oil later, but we're not going to talk about the markets at the moment. So I decided to play the exchange Slav here. I played bishop f4, all pretty standard here. So I played queen c2, e6, bishop d3, bishop e4, and here I actually made a mistake. The correct move here is knight f3. For some reason, I played knight e2. Again, I was not completely all together today, so it happens. So he castle, he goes rook c8, I play rook c1. Probably I should have played bishop e5 here, put pressure on the knight, maybe bishop h7. I went rook c1, not the most exciting. He played h6, I played h3. Again, I want to create a square for the bishop. If black tries to play knight h5 and exchange pieces, I would go for a draw too. It's a 250k tournament. Well, I mean, the thing with the tournament is that it's about qualifying. So it's about qualifying, and the goal is to get in the top 4, and to get in the top 4, you have to win your matches. So that's the main point. It's like, okay, sure, if I play great against Anish, let's say I go barbarian style and I beat Anish 4-0, it's like, okay, whoopity-doo-dah. But beating him 4-0 would have been the same thing as beating him 2.5, 1.5. So it's like, why do you want to take the risk? The risk is just not there. So b5, queen b1 here. You just have to win matches. So if you win a match by 4-0, 3.5, half, 3-1, there aren't any tiebreakers. There might be, but again, I don't see there being tiebreakers except for maybe the 4th spot, because the scoring system with 3 points for every the scoring system with 3 points for every match win. There are so many rounds that I just don't see there being a big tie. So here, Anish plays knight c4, threatening knight d2. I went rook d1, queen a5, bishop e5, bishop e7. 4-0 is possible. It doesn't end at 3-0. Yeah, so actually that is a big question mark with this event, is that it's a match format where you play someone 4 games, but if you beat someone 2.5 to half, which means you would have 2.5 out of 3 points, and the last game is irrelevant, which happened in the match yesterday between Anish Giri and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. They still played the last game. Was I struggling? I wasn't thrilled with my play, but I wasn't that unhappy. I was very happy I found this idea, actually, because it's very ugly. Sort of trade off bishops for knights here. I mean, it's not great. That's why I didn't get why Anish didn't play out your last game. No difference between 2.5, 1.5, and 3-1. Well, yeah, but I mean, you could say the same. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, because I did that against Magnus in the Armageddon. I could have made a draw against Magnus in the Armageddon. I lose the match as opposed to like losing the game. But I mean, that's just personal preference. Makes no big deal. So I go knight f4, and the important point here is normally 2 bishops are better than 2 knights, but in this case, I have some nice dark squares, and the bishop here is kind of behind these pawns, so it's actually not that great for black. Black's probably still better, but it's not by any stretch clean. So I go knight e2. Anish takes. I take with the knight. Very important move to put the knight on b3 and try to put something on c5. So Anish went bishop a4, played knight b3, takes, and at this point already, the position's basically a draw. Neither side can do much, because basically I control c file. Black can only try to play a4, but I control the break. So if I just stay solid here, there's no way black can win. So the rest of the game really isn't that important, but we'll look at it anyway. Just queen d1. Like, we basically just shuffle. We trade. We go la-di-da-di-da, move some pieces. So I could have traded queens. I don't know why I didn't, but we reached this position. Now I play queen e2. Wait, why did I say 0.4? I saw 0.4 briefly. Okay, no, I'm crazy. But anyway, we play this position, and we just shuffle our pieces all over the place, and we made a draw here. Neither side can do much. I control the only pawn break. Black can't infiltrate because I control c2. Black also can't do anything with his bishop because my knight is going to jump if he does. So, again, not a very exciting third game either. This ended in a draw. Thank you to Harstum for the raid. Thank you so much to Harsum. Harsum is actually, he's a StarCraft guy, right? I think he's a StarCraft guy, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. I think he is. Let's see. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, he's SC2, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen that name before. I don't know when I was watching him, but I am familiar with Hearthstone. So yeah, thank you so much. Those of you who are coming from Hearthstone's channel, we are talking about chess right now. We're discussing a tournament that I'm playing in. I'm doing analysis of games that I played earlier. It's a tournament with 8 players. We play 7 matches. Everybody plays everybody. It's a match of 4 games over the next 2 weeks. So far I've played 2 matches. The prizes are very big, actually. First prize in this event is $70,000. Second prize, I believe, is $40,000 as well. So it's a very, very serious event. Let me see, since there are those of you who are coming from Hearthstone's chat, let me see if I can find a graphic of it just to give you guys an idea. Yeah, first prize is $70,000, so it's a very, very serious event. Who pays the prizes? It is sponsored by the chess website, Chess24. I think it bills a 4 for the sub with Prime as well. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a graphic. There isn't. But anyway, you play matches of 4 games. So this match that I played this morning, which is what I'm showing right now, is a match that I played Hikaru against Anish Giri. And I won the match 2.5 points to 1.5 points. I won 1 game, and we had 3 games that were drawn. A win is 1 point, a draw is half point. So I won the match. So it's a round robin where you play everybody a match of 4 games, and the top 4 players play for the top 4 prizes in about 2 weeks from now. So it's a very big event, and we're just looking at some games from that. So once again, thank you so much to Harson for the raid, and I hope all you guys who are coming from that channel enjoy the analysis, enjoy the chess that we're looking at right now. So this was a 3rd game draw, obviously, as I pointed out. Very blocked at position. Neither side can do anything. So let's take a look at the 4th game, which is this last game. Let me flip the board again. Thank you to Mythian 176 for the sub with Prime. So this is game 4. So at this point in the match, I won the first game. We had 2 draws. So I was up 2 points to 1 point. Must-win game for Anish to try and tie the match at 2 points each. So he played e4, changed from d4 in this final game. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5. This is, of course, the Italian opening. Very ancient opening from, I want to say it was first invented in around like the 1500s in Italy. So Anish plays c3, knight f6, d3, d6. We keep playing normal moves, just developing. We both get castled. Anish plays knight d2. I play a5 here. Yeah, it's one of the oldest. I think the 2 oldest openings, and maybe the Ponziani opening is even older. I don't know. But the oldest openings are the Ruy Lopez. And the Ruy Lopez, the Italian, and I think the Ponziani. The Evans Gambit is an old opening. But the Evans Gambit is an opening that was invented, I want to say, in the late 1700s by Captain Evans, who was in the British Navy. So, but yeah, the Evans Gambit is old, but 1700... I think it was late 1700s. Let me see. Captain Evans. Let me take a quick look. Let's see. Yeah, William Davies Evans, January 27th, 1790 to August 3rd, 1872, was a seafarer and inventor, though he is best known today as a chess player. Thank you, Jad Nasser, for the sub with Prime. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, his most famous invention was what? Was some naval thing. Anyway, yeah, but the Ruy Lopez was invented in like the 1500s, so somewhere in Spain. Ancient stuff. So knight f1 in this game. I played knight e7. Anish plays bishop b3, knight g6. We're both just putting our knights on the optimal squares so that we can try to play in the center where our knights have the best access points. So I played rook to e8. Anish played h3. I went bishop to e6 here. Anish played bishop a4. I played c6. So his ship was stale enough to play chess. I don't know. I mean, I saw it says his most famous invention was the tricolored lighting on naval vessels designed to prevent collisions at night. For this invention, he was awarded £1,500 by the British government and a gold chronometer and £200 from the Tsar of Russia. Pretty solid. Although I think these days he's probably more remembered for his contributions to chess. So, okay, so I played rook e8. Oh, also, those of you who are not chess players, you'll see in this upper right-hand corner, you'll see these evaluations. These are the computer evaluations on the position after every single move that was played in the game. So here, Anish played d4. I played bishop to b6. Anish played bishop c2. Now I played bishop c7. Again, we're both trying to put our bishops on the optimal squares. I want my bishop on this diagonal. He wants his bishop here because at some point there's going to be a big blow up in the center, or there should be. And both these bishops are eyeing the h7 and h2 squares very, very closely here. So here Anish plays bishop d2, queen to e7, a4 is played. Again, just a move, kind of just, I guess, just sort of a waiting move. It takes away a weakness here, so you can move the rook, and also it stops black from taking more space on the queen side as well. So rook d8 is depth 15 good enough? I think generally speaking, it's good enough. You're not going to get precise analysis at this level, but it is fairly good. All right, so here Anish played bishop to d3. I played queen to f8. Yeah, I can make the depth go up. I know, it doesn't make a huge difference. Anish plays queen c2. Good move, by the way. I was actually very annoyed at myself during the game. And actually for chat, once again, these games were very quick games. These were games of 15 minutes with a 10-second increment, meaning that you start the game with 15 minutes, and every move that you play, you gain 10 seconds. So if you start the game with 15 minutes, and on your first move, you think for 45 seconds, you would have 14 minutes and 15 seconds. But then once you play your move, you gain 10 seconds, so you would have 14 minutes and 25 seconds after you play the move. So here I play queen f8, and I was annoyed because I really felt that I should have played d5 here. Maybe it's actually nothing special for black, but somehow I thought this was good. Takes, queen f3. Oh, maybe white just takes. Oh. Because if I play rook takes d4 here, oh wow, there's this very annoying tactic. Bishop takes h6. If I take, there's knight f5 with a fork hitting the king and the queen, and the rook on d4 is hanging. So this would have been very good for white. This commentary is so much better than the Chess 24 commentary. Thank you, Polysci. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So maybe this is actually not good in reality, but during the game I was very annoyed because I felt it was a way to sort of force the issue. And in a game where I only needed a draw to do this kind of, it felt like a missed opportunity, because after queen f8, queen c2, I can never play d5 anymore, because when I go d5 and takes, he takes on g6, and now everything is just kind of hanging here for black. So I played knight to f4, bishop f1, knight g6, offering Anish a draw. Of course, a draw is completely fine for me, since that would mean I win the match. So Anish played c4. Now I had to play c5. Now I reach a different structure where it's very closed. The whole queen side is completely closed. Neither side can break because we control the squares of the other opponent, of the other side. Sorry. And so it's a very tricky position here, because what's going to happen is it's going to come down to who can attack on the queen side or the king side, because the queen side is just completely shut down. So here Anish plays queen c1, just some waiting moves. Now he finds a very nice move, rook a3, which the idea behind this move is that white wants to move the knight, put the rook on f3, and try to really attack quickly. Whereas you look at the structure, you're like, okay, well, the pawns, it's just a very blocked position. But the one difference here is that because white has this pawn on d5, d6 instead of d3, d4, I can't use the sixth rank because I have this pawn on d6, which prevents it. So white is actually better here for sure. And actually the engine gives a huge advantage to white. Holy moly. So I played rook a8 here. Idea behind rook a8 was just that this bishop here doesn't look very good. There are these pawns, but the bishop is just stuck behind this wall of pawns. I can't use any diagonals, so I figure, you know what, I got to put the bishop on this diagonal. Try to do something like maybe try to move the knight in exchange on h4. But just in general, I need to get the bishop away because it's just so bad here. It doesn't do anything on c7. So Anish plays bishop d3, bishop d8, bishop c2. Now, the thing is, I have this idea to activate the bishop, but the reason that Anish puts the bishop on c2 here is that he thinks I'm going to try to break with this pawn push. But he has a knight, he's got a pawn, and he's also got a bishop, so he's got so many pieces that cover this one square here that I can't really break. So I play knight h7. He plays knight f5. Francesco di Castelvi versus Narciso Vignoles. 1475 from Valencia. That was the first game ever played in the wait, is that Scandinavian or Rui Lopez? A Scandinavian defense in 1475. Geez. Yeah, once again, you guys, as you can tell, chess is a very, very old game. Extremely old game. It's been around for probably, I would say, about 3,000 years. But rules have been the same for the last about 700 years, I want to say. Just like Hikaru. No, I'm not that old. I'm not part of the clan MacLeod. I'm not an immortal. So I played rook a6 here. I just want to support the pawn. I really want to remove this knight here because I can't put the knight here because I lose material. Thank you to Holanda 000 for the sub with Prime. Thank you so much. So I play rook a6 to support the pawn and play knight e7. Yeah, I'm not immortal. I'm not a Highlander. So here Anish plays g3. Good move. Basically wants to bring the king, maybe push h4, maybe g4, but very, very cautious approach because black doesn't have anything. The rook is good here because it supports the pawn, but the whole queen side is shut. I can't really push anything over here because I'm very cramped. So here I play knight to e7. Trying to trade the knights because again, white's got good pieces, but if I can just untangle and get rid of some pieces here, it's going to be a lot easier to play. So here Anish goes g4. I play knight to g6. He plays king h2. Now I go bishop f6. Again, the problem with pushing g4 for white is that basically... One second, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, chat. 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Problem here, though, is this by pushing the pawn g4, it gives me the square on f4 down the road. So Anish plays rook g1, and now I go knight f4, and now it gets very messy. because after takes queen f4, you'll see that I get this knight g5. Maybe I have bishop b2 as well. But after knight g5, you'll see the idea is if white takes, I have bishop e5, so knight g5, bishop e5, and white's going to lose the queen on f4 here. Thank you to Blitzstream for the raid with 223. Thank you so much to Blitzstream. Thank you to everyone who's coming from the French channel. Bonjour. Comment allez-vous? So, okay, so if white plays knight g5, bishop e5, Isu, yes, Isu, right, Isu, yes, Isu, exactly, yeah. So, okay. So I just played rook a2, I played g6, knight g3, and already after queen e7, white has an extra pawn here, this pawn on f2, but white doesn't have the center, and I've got two bishops. I'm going to put the bishop on this diagonal. White's king is kind of open as well, so he goes king b3, king g7, king g2, and now I play h5, and this h5 is a very nice move. Comment allez-vous? Yeah, so h5. Plays rook h1. Was I worried during the last game? Not really worried. I was maybe mildly unhappy, but I was not too unhappy. So I play h5 here. And the point behind h5 is white takes with the pawn. I go knight takes h3, and I hit the queen. And I hit the rook. Ça va bien. Yes, we can speak French, just not right now. And I'm also threatening knight h3. So let's say white just plays a random move like rook e1. I go knight takes h3, and then I take, and the bishop supports the pawn. And actually, this is winning for black. Have I stopped playing physical chess? Well, as everybody knows, we're in quarantine. So, do I speak French? Not really, but I can speak bad French if I want to. I mean, I don't speak French, but I can speak French. So, anyway, so I played h5 here. Anish plays rook h1, and now I correctly take. I go queen e5, and the problem for white here is that his pieces are so passive. Like, this pawn controls the critical squares for the knight. This pawn on g4 is weak. I can go here. I can go rook a8 and rook h8. And just in general, you look at this rook on a2. It's a very sad-looking rook. It's not doing anything. It's stuck behind the pawns. And remember, earlier in the game, the rook was on a3. It could have swung over to f3. Now it's like hoping just to get to like e3 at some point. So here he played bishop d1, and now I played rook a8. I was very upset at myself for playing rook a8 because I could have played queen g5 here, and the idea is white can't go rook e2, rook e1 because then he blocks the diagonal and he's not supporting the pawn on g4. Thank you to Rishi Complex for the 4 months. Shout out to whoever does your YouTube thumbnails. Oh, thank you, Rishi Complex. There's Jared is caring does the YouTube thumbnails. Those of you in chat, again, I do have a YouTube channel. It's YouTube. Oh, it's at YouTube.com/GM Hikaru, I think is what it is. So make sure to check that out as well. We publish content there, mostly chess. We do some fun videos. The thumbnails obviously are great. So make sure to check that out. Make sure to click subscribe in YouTube as well. And thanks for just following me everywhere. So here, I should have played queen g5, put pressure on the pawn on g4. I played rook e8, and the problem now is after rook e2, it's still completely fine. But once I go queen g5. Actually, did I play queen g5? No, I played rook h8 because I don't know if rook h8 is right. But the point now is white gets rook e1. So even though black is fine, because I didn't put the queen on g5 to cut this trick off, white is able to coordinate his rooks, and they actually defend each other very nicely here. So I played queen g5. He played bishop e2, bishop e5, rook e g1. We just kind of play some waiting moves. Not much that white can do here because the knight is bad. Again, this pawn just dominates it. And there are just so many weaknesses here. My bishops are active, his bishop and knight are not active, and I control the h file to boot. So Anish trades, he goes rook h1, we just trade. And now I played f5, maybe not necessary, but it's just a way of simplifying the game. Even without f5, if I just kind of wait, this is still completely fine for black, because white can never push f4, and the two bishops are so active. But I played f5, because the point is I put pressure on the pawn. He can't take because of the pin with the queen on g5 here. So he takes, I take, knight g3, trade, I go queen g6, bishop d3, and Anish offered a draw. He could have played queen e3, but after queen h6, again, if anyone's better, it's probably black. So Anish played bishop d3, offers a draw. Thank you to Break and Beta for the 200 bits. Great match, and thanks for reviewing. Will you cover Magnus's games too? I'll cover those games tomorrow when I play in Tilted Tuesday, so I'll cover those games when I play tomorrow. Again, chat, if you are unaware, I will probably play Titled Tuesday. tomorrow on chess.com. It starts at about 2 p.m. Eastern. I think first prize will be $500. So it will be a big event. So yeah, so on each offer draw, obviously we could have traded. I could have played on maybe, but no big deal. A draw is fine.